Hey, we're Chasing Records, and you're listening to On the Record with special guest Sarina Haggarty.
And today I'm drinking Musher's Malt from South River Brewing. You can check them out, www.southriverbrewing.ca. And if you place any order, $50 or more, that is free shipping. I highly suggest you go out and get some. Enjoy the podcast. All right, here we are with Sarina Haggarty. It's kind of nice because we're all in London, even though we all have to do it through Zoom because
Yeah,
we're all in lockdown
Yeah,
right now, eh? Oh, so how's it going, Sarina?
it's going good.
It's
Thank
going
you.
good.
Just a nice Sunday at home.
No kidding. It's actually I just went out and did the most Canadian thing ever, and I shoveled our backyard rink, and it's
mm.
Oh, that's
beautiful. It's beautiful outside. It's gorgeous.
And you took a shot of syrup, and
Yeah.
then
And then also checked my igloo out just to make sure it was all
yeah.
intact.
Still good? Has it melted yet? That's
No,
good.
not yet. It's all good.
I like that you said is a good early Sunday morning at home, but that's been like the last year. We just
yeah.
changed
It's
the
like
day.
like happy Sunday, happy Friday. Every day's the
Yeah,
same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's it been for you? For with your music, with all this.
It's been weird and different compared to other years, of course. So everything's online. I can't see my friends or band members, so I just miss everyone, and I miss being able to like go out to other shows too and seeing my friends play.
hmm
So I definitely cannot wait for all the gigs to come back, and things have been weird now that it's been over a year of this.
Hey, where do you play locally? In like, do you play a London scene a lot?
Yeah, in the olden days,
In
that's
the
what I
olden
keep
days,
saying.
When
yeah.
we were allowed to.
Yeah, I play at a lot of restaurants actually. So I like all summer I was supposed to play at Dolcetto. It's like
Oh yeah.
South
Oh, right
London.
It's
on.
right by
Yeah.
us. Yeah, right by me.
Yeah, and then Palisade Social Bowl, the one like North London. And I play like Rum Runners, Aeolian Music Hall,
Right on.
um, you name it, everywhere.
That's
You've been
awesome.
there. I mean, it's certainly a different, we've talked about it before, even just with other artists, but here in London, that's really all we've got, right? I mean, we used to have Call the Office. I mean, who knows if that's going to be back at any point, you know?
I feel like Call the Office, it's it's an awesome place. Very cool, stylish place, cool aesthetic. But there's been so many times where people have been talking about it shut down, and then like it still doesn't shut
It's
down. So I
bad.
find,
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
strange, eh? I know.
yeah. It's been sold like
yeah,
a
I
hundred
find,
times. I've been in London for like it'll be 10 years, and in that time, I've heard, oh, it's gone, and then oh no, it's back. Oh, it's sold. Oh, the owner's talking about how it's open. It's just that's the place that it's like a cockroach, man. It survives everything. It's so
yeah,
weird. Um,
yeah,
Norma Jeans is gone. That's one that I actually never went to. I never went to Norma Jeans.
yeah. I
Right.
actually played at Norma Jean's a lot before it
Oh,
closed
awesome.
too. For all, I think I did some just gigs alone, and then like some opening acts. There was a I can't think of what they're called, but there was a Tragically Hip tribute band that,
Oh, yeah. I know
um,
exactly what you're talking about too. I can't think of their name either. I feel like it's something
yeah,
clever too, but should be able to remember it.
yeah. I'm trying to think. I'm so bad with names, but they're such good people. So every time they played there, I opened for them. And then the last time I saw them was they played in Stratford, I think. So it was like a
Awesome.
little mini venue, just like the Norma Jeans, just in Stratford. So
That's
they're
cool.
yeah, it's just tours like that, you miss like little shows like that. And there's I can't think of names of places. There's 765, there's Oldies.
Old East, yeah.
Yeah, so just all little big stuff. I've played everywhere, so
It'd be really interesting to see once things open up, even for us. I mean, like we've been in really realistically lockdown since December, what, 26th, I think is when we've been like the hard lockdown. But were you able to play it all in the summer? Were you ever get a chance when things started to kind of open up a little bit?
yeah, I actually played at I think 3 weddings,
Oh
so
yeah.
Oh,
it was in
awesome.
between the waves when everyone was talking about how wave 2 is gonna be worse, and I would go to a wedding, and the best was one of them was in the countryside, so there was like 60 people, and I felt like COVID was just gone
Gone.
for a few
Mhm.
hours. Like
Mhm.
no one wore a mask, everyone was hugging, everything was like the good old
Almost
times.
normalcy again.
Yeah, so like when I played at weddings, it was fun. And then I played. I'm trying to think. It's already like February.
I know, it's crazy, eh? It's
Yeah,
it's
I think I played a few places, like the Budweiser, they had the patio.
oh yeah.
Because luckily there was all the outside patios, so and I played at London Brewing Co-op. So
Oh
I
yeah.
just had the
Oh,
plastic
right on.
over me because I spit
The
on
plastic
people.
shield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so weird, eh? Like all the other I remember watching the Trues. I want to say if they played in Massey Hall in Toronto for their it was like a virtual concert. I forget if it was that venue, but in between each of them they had these plastic barriers between them, right? And
Yeah,
two of
it's
them are
so
brothers,
weird.
which makes me laugh. But at the same time, I'm like, I get it. It's so strange
Yeah.
to see.
You know, a couple girls I worked with back in when I was in Toronto, there was this scuzzy bar in Union Station, and I can't remember the name. But it was like the worst bars. It's like $3 beers. Literally in a subway station. And this guy at lunchtime was like buying them beers, and it was the True's drummer. He's just hanging out
Oh,
in
really?
this scuzzy bar at 12 o'clock on like a Wednesday. It was like unreal.
Sounds about right.
That's my true. That's the only true story I have. That's
Yeah.
that's
We
it.
ran
Yeah.
into them.
That's
We
funny.
saw them in Guelph. Was it Guelph? Fiddler's Green, wherever that bar is. I apologize. Kitchener, Waterloo, Guelph. It's one of those three.
Yeah, Ontario.
Anyways, it's somewhere in Ontario,
Yeah.
southern Ontario, and they were just eating dinner on the patio, right beside us, right before showtime. The show was 2 or 3 hours away from it, and it was just kind of funny. And I feel like actually the same thing with Matt Mays. We were in Godrich seeing him last what was it? Gosh, it's got to be like 2 summers ago now. And he was sitting on the patio eating. We're like, oh look, there they all are. It's
Did you
there.
get
So
did you
it's
get all giddy? Did you get all
no,
giddy?
I
No.
don't. No,
You didn't tear up and have him sign a napkin.
no, I didn't know. I've already got no. Actually, I was very fortunate. Have you? Where do you record in London? Do you record at EMAC?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
record in EMAC. I've done a few singles there, and that's where I also was all summer working with Mo Berg and Rob Nation. So yeah, I was in studio a lot, which was fun. I keep forgetting what I did all year.
It starts to
I know.
slowly come back through
Yeah.
Yeah,
conversation. You almost forget, all the things that you did do, even though it seemed like we've just been at home every day.
We have.
yeah, yeah. And at EMAC, we obviously wore masks. And I also did a project. I was part of something called London. Oh, Forest City Fights Back, and there were maybe like 12 or 14 artists in London, and I'll send you a link. It looks awesome. And
Awesome. Yeah.
That'd be sweet.
everyone went in separate times and recorded vocals. And then Nick, the main engineer there, he produced like a beautiful song. And it was just everyone singing fight song, but they had to like clean everything, and then the next person would go in
Oh,
and the next
wow.
person, rather than like
Crazy.
fill up the studio.
Yeah, and we've just started out and haven't had a chance to play a gig at all. I mean, just the way obviously things happen, and had it not been for COVID, we may not be in this position anyways of where we are and started this adventure. But yeah, that's got to be really strange that you can't even just hang around those people either, like the other artists, like we would have been able to before, right? Where you just, and we were talking about like setting up and takedown at a festival now, sharing a drum kit with someone. Good luck. Like it just
Yeah.
seems so bizarre what is
Yeah.
going to happen later on.
Yeah, that's so true. Like before the emergency lockdown, like the latest one, I was supposed to have a gig with another band, and I was talking to like the booking and everything, and I said like, don't worry, like we can share a drum. Like I forgot that COVID exists, so I did check with my band members to make sure they can share a
They
drum.
could share. Yeah.
I mean,
It's
that's the
bizarre.
best way to get. Like, if I had to get COVID, I'd rather be like, I shared a drum kit than, I went to Costco. It's like a better story, I feel. Because like, what are the chances? Like, I
Yeah.
understand if you're sharing drumsticks, but like, you're gonna crash a cymbal, and then the virus will jump right on. It's so ridiculous. How'd you meet your band? Is it the same band the whole time, or do you switch up members,
Yeah,
or?
yeah, kinda. I grew up just, I guess, singing alone. I grew up in a musical family, and some of my family friends, like I would just play with them, at open mic at the London Music Club. And I kind of met them through mutual friends. So there's
Cool.
a guy, I'm not going to explain each band member that I
No,
Right.
it's
played
all
Yeah.
with,
good.
but like I played at Trackside Festival one year, and a good friend of mine named Patrick was like, "Hey, like I can bring my buddy Craig to play bass because I didn't have a bass player." And then Craig came to rehearsal, and I realized I met him through like Battle of the Bands that I did like 2 years
Wow.
before because
Wow.
he was in another band. So I kind of like met people just all through mutual friends. And then the other guys, the one I met, the good old days when you can go shake hands and meet
Yeah.
strangers. I
Yeah.
just met him at like a social event and we recognized each other's names, but I ended up adding him to the band for Trackside. And then the other two that I added to my band, they're like incredible musicians just that I met through mutual friends. And they played with my friends and I just kind of stole them for gigs and they're pretty
Awesome.
awesome. So there's Mark Swan, Josh Try, Connor Morant, and then Craig Juniak. So that's my current band that I've played with throughout this
Amazing.
COVID year.
It's crazy.
Amazing. I was going to ask you. Well, I try to ask people their biggest shows, but you have played in front of Shawn Mendes crowd.
Yes.
What was that like? That's crazy. What was that like?
Oh, it was wonderful. The good times when, venues were sold and I was accepted for Make-A-Wish as a wish kid because I had brain surgery
Oh
and my
wow.
wish was to perform on a big stage. So about a year later, I surprised my siblings and we went on a road trip to Cleveland. So that sounds boring because it's Cleveland.
Yeah. Good. Cleveland. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, why aren't we going to like
Big
anywhere
Disney.
else? Yeah, like literally anywhere else. Um, and yeah, it was in a arena or stadium, wherever, 22,000 people. So it was
How was that
kind of
for you?
fun.
What's that feeling like when you
Was there
step
any
on
nerve?
stage?
Like, there's got to be nerves, right? Going on stage for that, or would it just like adrenaline take over?
Yeah, I wasn't nervous at all. I kind of was just ready. The only thing I was scared about was I was wearing like these nice boots, and the three steps to get on stage were pretty steep. So I was kind of worried I would fall down,
Yeah.
which would not be pretty, but I made it up and I made it down. So
So
that was the only thing I was kind of thinking about, but no, I wasn't scared at all. I also had like ear monitors in, so it was so loud, but I could still hear it. Like imagine thousands of people screaming and they don't even know your name.
Yeah.
So everyone was very welcoming and I think some were, wishing that was them on stage. So I wish I could share the stage with more, but it was definitely a memory to remember. And yeah,
That's so cool.
everyone stopped like talking and listened to the first verse. Cause you don't know if this wish kid can sing or what
true,
on earth
yeah.
she's doing on
Right.
stage. So it was
Good
fun, and
stuff.
I'm really grateful, and it was nice that Sean and the whole crew let me steal the
That's
stage.
incredible. Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Now because because you had epilepsy, is that correct? Is that what the
Yeah,
brain surgery was? So does that
yeah.
affect you in any way now, currently, like with playing?
No,
No,
not at all.
everything's good.
Never.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, yeah. Never has. I just decided to have brain surgery just for fun and in hopes to stop it. So, and I actually had it again too. Like after the wish, it's common to have two surgeries, so
Okay.
I had another one like maybe another year later. But life is good.
That's
Good.
so fantastic.
That's
And I
awesome.
mean, your music is unbelievable. I know what my wife had, so I threw on Easy Tiger, which is your newest one, right? I think you released or late January, right?
Yeah.
And she was like, I'm sure I've heard this. I mean, we play at our household where I'm a huge Canadian artist. I don't know what it is. I don't know how. Maybe growing up in the 90s is Our Lady Peace. And then I just kind of went from there. And I've always stuck. I mean, I've talked about it many times. I watched actually the Matt Mays concert. He did a Burnside with Love last night, which was like a recorded concert. It was unbelievable. And actually, he talked about wiping out on stage in Winnipeg. It was quite humorous and kind of reminded me
Yeah.
of what talking about that, about a big fear of falling. But what is that song for you? Like, where did Easy Tiger come from?
I was working with Mo Berg. So I went to music industry arts at Fanshawe College. So Mo Berg, he lives in Toronto and he's a prof at for first year at MI and he teaches production. So I asked him like 2 years ago if he wanted to work. Like I showed him two of my songs and they turned out great. They're both out. And then I decided to write a song with him and we wrote a song. It wasn't Easy Tiger, but it was a song called Missing You. And he's awesome to work with. He's so cool. So instead of working like on one song, we decided to do two songs again. And I had no songs, no song idea. Like I couldn't come up with anything. But the song came out of nowhere and I had a story in mind and I just spit out the lyrics and I brought it to him the next day and it all stayed the same. We didn't even change anything. So
Awesome.
I was lucky to, get another song to work on. And I read the line, easy now, Tiger, easy down. Whatever the line even is. It's like I think it's easy now, Tiger,
Tiger,
like chill down,
right?
chill
And that's kind
out,
of where
calm
it came
down.
from, eh?
Yeah, and I, of course, I wrote it about a boy, but I think it can be seen in different perspectives about
Right.
different stories and however you can relate to it. But I wrote it about a boy, and it kind of just means, like figure out your stuff, like what's up, what are you thinking, like,
I think that that
easy
that
tiger.
that goes across
Yeah,
the board. Boys need to be told that. That's
yeah,
in their
yeah.
lifetime, like 100 times.
In a day.
Yeah,
It's our fault. Um,
yeah.
and I apologize. We're distracted. We're kind of dumb. I saw your live video today from LA.
Yeah,
Live.
that was so cool.
Yeah, it was great. I was like, how does like this is crazy. When I just search you, it's like you're everywhere. Like you're in Cleveland with Shawn Mendes casually, and then you're in LA in a live acoustic show. How did that come about?
After my wish took place, that was summer of 2017, and it became a wish that was a highlight internationally since it was done through Southwestern Ontario because there's different like chapters of
Right.
Make a Wish. So there's the Southwestern Ontario, and then it went through Canada because they had to make it go through America because it involved celebrities.
Okay.
So originally, like I didn't even know it was Shawn Mendes. It could have been
Oh, I see. It could
anyone,
have been anyone.
Oh,
Okay.
which it sounds mean. Yeah, like I wish to play with Shawn Mendes. It was originally like I wish to perform on a big stage,
okay.
um, or open for a big artist. So Shawn was the first one they contacted, and he said yes. So it was very cool that it was a Canadian. So I thought it was gonna happen in Toronto, but instead it was in Cleveland. And so since it was done through America too, a few months later, there was an international conference in Arizona, and Make a Wish wanted me to go to Arizona to surprise the crowd. So they were sharing all like wish stories, and they showed the video of my wish, and obviously everyone. It's so like emotional because you hear about like the coolest wishes and like the sweetest like kids. And I think I was 18 at the time or maybe already 19. I don't know. It was a long time ago
It
already.
seems like I know, eh?
Yeah, and they showed my video, and then I surprised, and I walked on, and I sang my first original song that I sang on stage in Cleveland. So I surprised them, and then I met a lady, like it was international conference, so there was Make-A-Wish people from everywhere, and I was talking to the Irish um, people that came for the conference, and the one lady said, "I want you to come to Cleveland,
LA.
where to Dublin, sorry, to Dublin.
Oh,
Wow.
I want you to come to Dublin like next year to sing at our big gala." Excuse me. So I said, okay, like give me a call. So she messaged me, and I actually went to Dublin next
that's
to share my
crazy.
wish. And it
Jesus.
was really cool. I surprised them too. So I went with my mom and my sister. And then LA was the next one that happened. And they called literally, it was a year ago already. So they called like 2 weeks before, and they said, "Hey, like we're working on a PSA, like, and we decided we want you to sing on it." So they wanted me to sing "A Sky Full of Stars" by Coldplay.
Coldplay, yeah.
And I said, "Okay, I'll check my schedule." Like I had a gig with the London Arts Council too, and they asked me to come like 4 days after they did call me, and this was in March, so almost a year
So
ago.
it was right before everything went down too, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was so lucky. So I flew to LA, and I sang. I She said like, "Oh, we need you by this day because that's the studio day."
Right.
So I messaged Richard, the guy who was Richard Gracious, like sweetest guy, and he was doing the booking for the London Arts Council. And I said like, "Hey man, like I'm gonna fly to LA like in 2 days. Can you find someone else for the gig, please?" So I went, and I had it right in studio. And then I literally was there for 4 days, and luckily I got a last minute gig at I can't remember what it's called, but the video that you would have been talking about. I got a gig, and I went like that night and sang 3 songs, and it was so cute. It was like a little like
That's amazing.
thrifty vibe, like messy bedroom. I don't know how to describe the place, but
What would be out of your, obviously of all the exciting things that you've had happen, and unfortunately it was due to the, some of it is with the Make-A-Wish, but your talent is unbelievable. And it's obviously taken you that far, right? There's no question. What would be your most exciting like gig that you've played? Would it be something like the big ones or going to LA, or is it more of like a small one? If you have one, I mean, sometimes it's probably hard to describe,
um,
pick one.
yeah, definitely. I think it depends on my mood and the day, like whatever I want to go back to. I think Arizona meant a lot to me because I got to surprise everyone there, and it was like the first Make-A-Wish trip I got to do. So it wasn't only my wish that meant a lot to me in Cleveland, it was the fact that I've been able to travel and share my wish and my story as a wish ambassador. So I think Arizona, it was just beautiful there, and like the heat, like the weather too, like the dry heat, it was so nice.
Mm.
Yeah. If no one's
So
been to London, Ontario or Southwestern Ontario and you don't know what Sarina's talking about, just come here for like a week in the summer. You'll understand that the dry heat is so nice.
Yeah.
yeah,
Humid and disgusting. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So I think Arizona was, the start of a good journey, even though my wish already happened.
Absolutely.
Um, but also LA was so beautiful, and I was so lucky to be able to go. So I think Arizona or LA,
Arizona.
they were
Yeah.
great. Yeah,
Yeah. They
and it
would.
was Make-A-Wish's like 40th anniversary last year. So the PSA that was released, it was like a sweet story, and there was a girl, and she like carried a star to a boy at the hospital, and just throughout the video, my voice sounded so like mellow and sweet. So I think it meant a lot, the fact that I was singing on such a cool commercial.
Well, they certainly
That's
picked
awesome.
a
That's
great
awesome.
ambassador. There's no question. But it's awesome that we have you in London, Ontario, right? It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's a good city to grow up in. Um, right now, nothing exciting because of COVID, but that's like everywhere. And I love big cities, so I definitely am considering going to Toronto one day, but I think London's a fine place to start.
And I was gonna say,
Yeah.
like, when I'm writing lyrics and that, I sometimes have a hard time pulling an inspiration, at least from London. Where do you pull your inspiration from? Like, I feel like if you're out in the West Coast, if you're in LA or you're out in the East Coast and in Nova Scotia or something like that, and you're on the water, I feel like there's so much out there to be able to pull in. Where do you get your inspiration from for your writing?
I think I get it from just stories and mindsets. Boys, just
Yeah,
boys.
yeah.
They boys help a lot. So shout out to all the boys.
Again,
Yeah,
sorry.
It's good and bad.
No,
We give you
yeah,
content, but
no
Yeah.
one ever apologizes. So thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah,
On behalf of
think,
all of us.
yeah, thank you. I think I travel a lot too, so I'm still able to be inspired. Not in the past year, but before.
before.
Yeah, I traveled a lot. I love road trips. I love plane rides. So I think I did get a lot of my inspirations from that. But I managed to just, get it through friends and boys and movies a lot, I find. And just co-writes. I've done a lot of co-writes this past few months and definitely came up with good stuff. And I think so it's so good because I can have a story and I won't be able to finish it and then I'll get it from a different perspective and bam, a
Boom,
hit
there it
song.
There,
is.
it's done.
Do
know, I
you,
would- Yeah, go ahead.
do any of the boys that you write about know that's them in the song? Like, do they know that's me, man? No?
No,
All
guys
right, right
are
on.
too dumb. No,
Yeah,
It's true.
no.
It's so
True.
true. Unless
Yeah.
it's like there's only a few like pop artists that are top 40 that we all clearly know who they're writing about, but
This
Yeah.
song's called "It's for You, Ted," and Ted's like, "I wonder who this is about."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
that makes sense.
this is bad to mention because it's just more drama. I shouldn't pass it around. But have you heard the song "Driver's License"?
yes, we have.
Yes, we have. We were just we
Yeah.
were just talking about that song actually.
So like the beef and the story involving with that, like with that guy
Josh. I was gonna say Josh. I don't know his last name. I was gonna say this is terrible.
Josh, and then Sabrina Carpenter. And it's so bad to talk about it, but I just find it so dramatic and so entertaining, and it really keeps people captivated. So I'm a huge fan of all that
Yeah.
drama.
Oh, the drama, yeah. It was kind of like Bieber and Selena, right? When they had their
Oh, but I'm
feud going on.
sick. I'm so sick of that though. It's like 8 years later, he's married, and it's like there's more song. It's just like, oh man.
But it's still captivating. You're kind of like, okay, what's next? What punch are they gonna pull now?
Yeah.
And that song just recently, actually, I think it came out in January, but I just heard it for the first time like yesterday, and his new single "Anyone," I think, and it's like saying, "Oh, I don't love anyone else but you," blah blah blah.
Yeah. See, he's doing it in more a passive way because when she writes songs, she's kind of like,
here it is.
Justin, like it's about him, and he's like, I'm in love with this girl. It's like I never was in love before, and this girl makes she bakes great food. It's just like it's just I personally am so sick of it. It's like, it's been 20 years, guys. Get over it, But
Yeah, I
funny.
think
that's just me.
Driver's License definitely, like, I did cry the first time I heard that song. I was like,
Oh, yeah?
this is so sad. Like, this poor girl, like, she's 17 and, like, great song too. It's really like singer-songwriter kind of pop. But she just wanted Josh, but like, what if they were just friends too? Like, it's
Yeah.
you can read the comments on social media on Sabrina Carpenter's new song "Skin," and they're just all saying like, "Why are you like that? Like, come on, don't show too much hate." And whether the song is about like specifically that, especially like some of the lines, it's just intense. Anyway, I think overall, I think definitely it keeps people entertained.
It sure does. I mean, our EP and eventually like our full album is called "The Stories of Others," and that's where we get our inspiration, at least for our songs, and where I get it for lyrics. Is really the stories of other people, of people that we know, or, just even situations that, of people and what they've gone through. And, it's funny. I always say it's hard to write a happy song. I don't know why. And I feel like people can more gravitate to the sad song.
Yeah, I'm definitely like a heartbreak writer.
Yeah.
I do want a happy song, but I think the happiest song I've released is a song called Obsessed. And that was like my first kind of full band recording. I recorded it in Charterhouse. And do you know the band? A bunch of guys, um, not Mumford and Sons, Mountain of Wolves. They used to be a band in
No.
London, and I met them through like an incubator thing, and then I was working with a producer named Reiner Stotzer, and Reiner knew of them too, so he just said, let's try working with, these strangers, these guys. And we put together a song, Obsessed. And yeah, they're all such good people too. So that was the happiest song,
Happiest
kind
song.
of saying like, oh, I'm obsessed with you, la da da. Like my recent songs, like especially the ones I'm writing now, it's like all just heartbreak. So
All
I'm thinking of my
heartbreaking.
next EP is probably gonna be called like Heartbreak or Shattered or something.
Shattered.
Yeah. I
There's
think the reason why is because like if someone writes a happy song, it's harder to hear a happy song and then like compare that to something happy in your life. Whereas a heartbreak song or a tragic song or anything that involves like you could write about boys, for example, but someone could hear that and relate to something sad, and that brings up that sad memory. I think as people, we hold on to the sadder things way more than the happier things, right? So
Yeah.
a happy song, I'm like, oh yeah, remember I won the lottery? This song reminds me of that. No, but like a sad song is like, oh, remember that happened, and it gets you, man. I don't know, it gets you. The only song that I've heard really that was mainstream that was happy is that song "Because I'm Happy," and that song drove me mental. You know what I mean? Oh my God, right? Like, cause I'm happy. I was like, oh, it just repeats. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, that's the first song I think of if I think of like a happy song.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
lyrics, like it's usually like a pop, simple lyric, happy kind of song.
It's
Whereas
true.
like sad songs, the lyrics I find are just way more creative and
There's more depth to
relatable.
them, right?
There's a
Yeah.
more
Way more depth.
vulnerability to writing that, right? Like it's so it makes you so vulnerable. You put it out this sad song, and then it connects. It connects to people, and because we're like, I guess people are just sad in general, right? It's just,
I think it's just there's just more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just connect to it.
more
We've
sad
talked
things.
about that. Yeah, we've talked about that many times about just even our music and how it's been written. And I want to say like I don't even know if we have one on our EP or
No.
even our album that's happy. I mean, Millionaire Man, which is actually about local London, a guy I wrote that one about, but it's not really happy because he eventually just ends up leaving and no one knows if he's died or what. I mean, he's probably dead now based on historical events, but
Yeah.
no one ever knows. I mean, it's maybe the happiest one, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure.
The happiest one is but a guy leaving. It's
Guy
like, oh,
leaving,
okay.
potentially dead, could be in
Yeah,
Lake Ontario.
yeah.
No one really knows actually.
And he
No,
won the lottery. Like a part of it is happy. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I forget. Yeah, it's anyways, that's all good.
are you working on a full album or EP or?
Yeah, we so originally we had a 14 track album that we were going to drop in January, and we had a couple meetings where we discussed how we should drop it. Instead, so we dropped it. We're dropping it as two EPs, which are two 5-track EPs, and the second one's coming out in a couple weeks, and then in like about a month or so, it'll be all 14 songs as the full album. It was recorded as a full album, and that was our intention the whole time, but then we just dropped it slowly. We thought that if we put it all out one time and it did get passed over, we'd be like, oh, that's
There
done.
goes a year's worth of
Yeah,
work.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I
So,
think we couldn't, and I mean, without being able to play live, we didn't have obviously a following of any sort to start out with. So even by putting it out, we couldn't put it out there other than through social media. And that was part of the reason why we thought like this podcast, because we can't play live. We can't meet other artists just to chat. So we thought, hey, let's let's try this. And it's been really exciting. Actually, it's been a lot of fun. Just meeting other people and hearing their experiences and, what they're doing now. And yeah,
Yeah.
it's been really good. Because we've talked about this before too. We find that this, right now everyone just wants a single, right? They just want something to go. So are you working on anything like longer than, like, do you have an EP then? Because you said like possibly Heartbreak would be the next one, but do you have an EP kind of solidified right now, or are you still in the works?
I think I'm gonna do that thing where you take like all the recent singles and then like add like 2 songs and then
And
like
then
announce like a new release, even though like they're all
Mm-hmm.
old songs.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Not like old, but in the past year or two. So I think I'm planning on doing that this year, and I think I want one more song that's kind of like the one I'm most happy about, that I'm proud of. So I'm aiming for like a pop alternative, bit of
Nice.
that'd be
folky
cool.
vibe. So it's hard to find your sound, I
It
find,
is.
because I don't want like straight pop, and I don't want like, I don't know. It's such a hard decision, but
It
yeah,
is.
right now it's like alternative pop. So I'm
Where
working on a song, and I think it's definitely one I'm very proud of. So maybe I have all the songs done. I just need to, figure out what to call the EP. Stupid photo shoots. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You-
Where do you like, who's your musical influences? Like growing up in London, but obviously growing up, you said, in like a musical family, where do you pull your musical influences from? Who do you like to listen to the most, or where do you get your kind of?
Sound wise, there's a girl from New York named Maggie Rogers, and
Okay.
she's really cool alternative. So I got a lot of ideas, like production wise and vibe wise, from her. There's also some nice pop and lyrics. A singer called Lennon Stella. It's very cool. And it's always so hard to think of others.
Well, yeah, it's hard to kind of narrow it down, right? But
Yeah, I think, of course, the usual, like Lumineers are cool.
yeah,
And yeah, I don't know. Just, yeah. Maggie Rogers is a huge one, though.
huge one
So
for you. Yeah.
yeah.
You should call the EP "Dear Stupid Boys" or,
Th-
or
I'll
something.
cons-
Right? Yeah.
I'll consider that. Yeah, that's cool. I was thinking the
Just
other
spitballing,
day. Yeah, no, please, like, keep giving me ideas. I'll find one. My 2 others are called Missing Pieces because my brain surgery, they removed pieces, so that's why I
That's
got that one.
That's great. That's a great title.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
Compass, because just, you see stuff from every direction, and I love traveling, so Compass. And then I was also thinking, it sounds like so sad, but like the heartbreak thing, like stained or staining. If
yeah.
Yeah, that's not even a common word, but like staining, like leaving a mark and stuff.
Leaving a
Yeah.
mark. Yeah, that's a good one too, though. I mean, it's really, and it's so funny. You hear, your album titles, and then now understanding like what they are, and it's so cool to be able to put a title on, and not necessarily everyone would understand what that is as a whole, right? But it's really neat that it means something so close to you, right? With those, and I mean, I think it's so hard to find. I mean, we actually, our album was called something completely different before this. I think was it No Rehearsals? Is that what we?
Yeah.
Because we've never been able to jam, right? I mean, we had a bit in the summer where we could have had the opportunity, but
Yeah.
my dad's 91 years old, so it was really just trying to protect, if I did have to ever go over there at any point, to try and keep contacts as limited as possible. So we've never
Yeah.
been able to actually rehearse together in the same room. It's always been online, and it's been interesting that way. So we were going to call ours No Rehearsals.
Yeah, that is cool though. That's a cool. It's
Thank you.
I'm actually like, a lot of times when it comes to, captions of pictures and names of EPs, like I'm not that creative when it comes to it.
No,
So
it's the worst. It's the
Yeah,
worst.
it's hard. It's
It's
so
so
hard.
hard.
Yeah.
And then there's
yeah.
like my stepdaughter's 8, and she is like just like she had actually 11 1200 something views on a video she put up. That was like a 30-second video. And she's like captioning it, and I'm like, she I guess doesn't overthink it. She's just like, boom, and I'm like, what should I say? And like 3 days later, I'm still. So it's, you know what I mean? Oh man, it's overthinking, I think. But yeah, there's some experts. There's some social media experts out there who are they're killing it, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Stuff.
So before we go, because we're almost out of time, where can everyone find you, Sarina? And if you want to say anything that you have coming up, obviously we're hopefully coming out of lockdown soon, and we could actually have some gigs going on. But do you have anything coming up or anything where people can find you?
That's funny. I was thinking like, yeah, my next gig is here. I think all my music is on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music, whatever you may listen to, and TikTok. I'm trying to get used to TikTok, so I would love some followers.
Hey, we'll
My
try and help you out, but
yeah, it's not amazing yet, but it's slowly going to be great. So TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, everything.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Awesome. And then do you have anything
Yeah.
coming out that anyone can look forward to? Do you have anything in the works like that's immediate or
maybe this summer.
yeah, this summer?
Look out. I'm thinking something this summer.
I'm hoping that we can at least get out and play in the summer at some point, somewhere.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys live playing and meeting. So
thanks. That'd be
let's
awesome.
hope for the
Yeah.
best.
Sure.
That's
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
All right.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Exactly.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But it was great meeting you.
Hopefully. Yeah, my
Thanks for
pleasure.
coming. That was fun. That was a lot of
Awesome.
fun.
This is awesome. Thank you, Serena.
Thank
right.
you.